Welcome to the Power of Offense with Keith and Rodney. And I'm your host, Keith, and right below me on your screen is your host, Rodney.
Greetings.
Today, we're going to discuss this particular rap song. Now, this rap song is called 51 Murders, all right? And I found out about this particular rap song by surfing through MTO News, also known as Media Takeout, right? Now, Media Takeout or MTO News is not a credible news source. Let's make this real clear. We know that it's not a credible news source because MTO News is a blog style gossip site. All right. Now, they do report news, and normally when they report it, they do cite their source. A lot of times it's TMZ, but we are aware. I just want everyone to know that we are aware of this. All right. Now, check this out. 51 murders. All right. Now, right here it says Chicago rapper confesses to 51 murders in new Dead Opps freestyle. All right. Now, this happened this year. All right. So we're going to listen to this song and we're going to unpack this. Now, this article says a Chicago rapper has done what many street dudes are calling unthinkable. He confessed his gang's involvement in 51 murders, y'all. And MTO News has learned that the Chicago police is currently looking at the video and weighing charges against the rapper. All right. So here go a photo. Photo of the rapper right there. Y'all see him?
Which one? The one pointing his finger?
Yeah, that's the rapper. All right. And that says the freestyle is called 51 Dead Homies. And it was recorded by a Chicago rap duo named Drilla and Wop. So maybe Drilla, I'm assuming, is the one pointing the finger and Wop is the other guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's a rap duel. And they say in the song, the group talks about 51 killings and suggests that his gang is responsible. Now, I can believe it because I'm like, man, they dropping bodies, serious bodies in Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say, I believe it was upwards of over 800 people that died last year in Chicago, 2020.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's a lot.
But either way, that's ridiculous. So before we play this song, right? Because I want to hear this song. All right. Before we play, let's finish this article. Now it says, why is this considered snitching? Well, because under federal RICO law, if a gang is responsible for a killing, then prosecutors can charge every member of the gang with murder. That's the same law that has G Herbo and Casanova 2X in prison today. Now, I've heard of these names. You know what I mean? Now, I don't know who they are. I really don't listen to hip-hop like that. Not like I used to. I listen to some of the old stuff, but I don't know who none of these new guys are. But I have seen these names before. So I do believe that they're popular rappers amongst the younger generation. So the article goes on and it says, so what's going to come out of this? Who knows? But we have to admit, if you put aside the disrespectful lyrics, the freestyle does kind of hit hard. So we're going to check this out. I want to see if it hit hard too. What about you, Rodney?
Yeah.
All right, let's check this out. Fair use. Hey, man, I got to admit, that shit do crank. It does. Like the article said, it does hit hard. What do you think, Rodney? It's some ignorant shit, man, but it crank.
So he just so I can understand, he was shown photographs and given the names and telling them how they was murdered.
Yeah.
So, yeah, crazy.
Jesus Christ. And did you see the young man had a chain that had 51 on it? As in 51 murders.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just can't make this shit up.
Yeah, he all the way confused.
God, man.
I believe that he think he's living in a movie.
They have to. They have to, man.
Yeah, I think all this acting on TV and video and streaming and all that, they actually think they're acting on TV. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It has to be that type of mindset.
Like, look at this, man. Here go another one. 51 dead ops, 39 dead ops. Timo. I'm just curious about this one too. I'm like, God, man, these young men are out of control, man.
Bro, hey.
I'm just gonna stop right there. I think the point is made, but I must say, I can't. Hey, right, I can't lie. The shit do crank though. It does. Some ignorant shit, but
Yeah.
I see why the young guys like it. I just put it that way. I can kind of understand.
You can see their creativity of music and rhythm and beat and the vibration, but it's just the mindset of the story behind it is what's just disturbing.
Jesus
So you
Christ.
kind of have to separate, what I'm saying, that rhythm, that music to what they're actually talking about.
Right.
And that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. So the question is it possible that the police department can actually file charges against a rapper for their rap lyrics? I guess that would be the question, right?
Who's asking that question?
Well, I'm just throwing it out there because according to MTO News, right, the Chicago Police Department is currently looking at the video and is weighing on whether they're going to file charges against the rapper.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing they're going to do is verify what he's saying to all of to those 51 investigations, probably ongoing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So therefore, once they match it up, then that's them weighing whether or not they're going to bring charges. Of course, they're going to look at the video, especially if he's if that group is a known gang or have gang affiliation. So if they have gang affiliation ties and the police know it, like you know what I'm saying? Of course they're gonna look at it. So
you're right. Well,
yeah,
I guess the question will be this: is can they use rap lyrics? I think this is something that these young people need to know. You know what I'm saying? Can they use your rap lyrics against you? Now, we have a case, right? And this case is from the Maryland Court of Appeals. Now, the Maryland Court of Appeals is the highest court in the state of Maryland. It is the Supreme Court of the state of Maryland. And it's called Montague versus State. So it'll be Montague versus the state of Maryland. And this case was deliberated in 2020. To be specific, December the 23rd, 2020. That was only 2 months ago. Now, this is what the Maryland Court of Appeals is saying, right? Now, we're not going to read the entire case. We're just going to deal with the important part, which is right here. It says evidence, factors affecting admissibility, relevance of rap lyrics. It's evidence. It says the Court of Appeals held that rap lyric evidence has heightened probative value. It is admissible as substantive evidence of a defendant's guilt when the rap lyrics, right, when the lyrics bear a close nexus to the details of an alleged crime. So in other words, if the rap lyrics is telling specifics of an alleged crime, then it can be used as admissible evidence in court. It says when a defendant's rap lyrics bear a close nexus to the details of an alleged crime, those lyrics exceed the low relevance threshold of Maryland Rule 5-401 and are therefore admissible under Maryland Rule 5-402 because they make it more probable that the defendant committed the alleged crime. Petitioner's rap lyrics had a close nexus to details of an alleged murder because the lyrics had a close factual nexus to the details of the murder. It had a close temporal nexus to the murder and recited "stop snitching," right? You know, they love saying "stop snitching," references that were published on social media to potentially intimidate witnesses to the murder. It says, as a result of the close nexus, petitioner's rap lyrics tend to prove his involvement in the murder as served as substantive evidence of his guilt. Now, why is that, Rodney? I know you know why.
Yeah, because anything you say can and will be used against you.
Exactly. It sounds like the Miranda.
Absolutely.
Like Rodney said, whatever you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. So, right here, the highest court of Maryland just stated that rap lyrics can be used to convict an alleged criminal, right? As long as a nexus right? As long as there is a close nexus to the details of the alleged crime, right, that exists within those lyrics. Now that's very important.
There has to be some sort of connection if they can tie the lyrics and what's being said to the crime being investigated, and they come to the conclusion that the person who's rapping, whether somebody told them the story or he's part of the story, and it connects to what they're investigating, they're automatically going to use that. That's why they can use videos and pictures. When people take videos and pictures of crimes, they can use it because it's about a crime.
Exactly.
So there's nothing private, or expectations of privacy can be had.
Exactly. And I'm glad you said that, Rodney, because I want to take everybody to this Yale publication. Now, Rodney said something that was very important. He said reasonable expectation of privacy, right? Now, this Yale publication, right, from Yale Journal of Law and Technology, deals with reasonable expectation of privacy. Now, it says social media searches and the reasonable expectation of privacy. All right. Now, we're going to take a look at this. Now, we're not going to read the entire publication, just like we did not read the entire case law, right? We're only going to deal with the relevant part for the sake of time. We're not going to read through the whole 37 pages. So let's get right to it. Right here, it says number 2, privacy and social data. It says the It says the proliferation of social technologies has facilitated the ease with which both private and public actors, now public actors will be government employees like police officers, can collect personally identifiable data. It says many privacy advocates have watched this and other technological developments with concern, noting the detrimental effect to consumer privacy. In fact, this trend has gone so far as to lead some to claim an end to a reasonable expectation of data privacy. Now, it's a footnote right there. Now, we're going to skip past most of the footnotes again for the sake of time. All right. Now, it's good practice to read the footnotes. I got to say that. It's good practice to read the footnotes, but again, for the sake of time, we're going to skip past them. Now, it says, however, the law does not leave consumers without any privacy protection. Individuals enjoy privacy rights deriving from the common law, statutory protections, and protections stemming from the Bill of Rights. This note focuses on the reasonable expectation of privacy in communications posted on private social media networks and the accompanying Fourth Amendment protections against government intrusions. Now, again, the reason why we're talking about this is because you have a lot of these rappers, right? People rapping and they posting stuff on social media. Example, the Chicago rap duel, right? Was it Drilla and Wop? I think was their names. But the guys that dropped that song 51 Murders, all right? It says the Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment grants the American people the right to remain free from unreasonable governmental searches. As interpreted by the Supreme Court, a search occurs when an expectation of privacy that society is prepared to consider reasonable is infringed. In Katz versus United States, the Supreme Court outlined a framework governing this right in modern case law. As interpreted by the court, the Fourth Amendment poses a requirement for a judicially sanctioned warrant for government search behavior that violates an individual's reasonable expectation of privacy. As Justice Harlan explains in his Katz concurrence, there are two elements to assessing the reasonableness of expecting privacy, a subjective and an objective component. All right. Now let's keep going. It says when it comes to social media data, the extent to which individuals have a reasonable expectation of privacy in their social network publications determines whether courts will consider government searches of social data information unreasonable and therefore protected by the Fourth Amendment. However, one should note that the Fourth Amendment serves as a floor for privacy protection against unreasonable government searches. Both federal and state legislators have the ability to supplement Fourth Amendment privacy protections and have done so. For example, the Electronic Communications Privacy Act of 1986, the ECPA, establishes requirements and procedures for government actors intercepting communications, as well as accessing stored information. Now, B, this is where it's really start getting interesting. All right, y'all. I wanted to lay the foundation first, but here we go. B, it says expectations to the reasonable expectation of privacy. It says digital data, like traditional information, receives a presumptive privacy protection under the Fourth Amendment. The government cannot access privately stored information without obtaining a search warrant backed by probable cause. Individuals have a right to store information without baseless government interference. Citizens may reasonably expect the greatest level of privacy protection against government intrusion when actions and speech transpire within the private confines of an individual's home. On the other hand, citizens do not have a reasonable expectation of privacy against government searches or intelligence gathering efforts that occur in public settings or where citizens expose private information to a third party. All right. Now, what is a third party? I do think we should take a look at footnote 13. All right. Now, it says Smith versus Maryland. That case was from 1979. It's right here. Matter of fact, let me highlight it to make it easier for everyone. It says finding that defendant had no legitimate expectation of privacy in bank records stored by third-party banks. You hear that? Third parties, y'all. The third party is also a cell phone provider. A cell phone service provider would be a third party. All right. Now it says number one, third party doctrine. This is the most important part. This is what we really wanted to discuss is this, right? But we had to lay the foundation first. Now it says the third party doctrine severely cabins Fourth Amendment protections by creating an exception to the reasonable expectation of privacy. First articulated in Smith versus Maryland, the third party doctrine states that once an individual invests a third party with information and voluntarily agrees to share information with the recipient, the individual loses any reasonable expectation of privacy in that information. It says, while rallied against by many privacy advocates, Smith still serves as good law. So it's good law, y'all. And in the footnotes, the cases are cited to why the publication is saying what it's saying. Now, the next paragraph says the third party doctrine serves as only a partial justification for the Smith opinion. It says Smith found that the defendant had no reasonable expectation of privacy pursuant to the third party disclosure only after first establishing that the government did not perform a Fourth Amendment search. All right. It says the court drew on a long-standing jurisprudential distinction between content and non-content information, where the court affords higher protection to contents of communication. For example, in Ex parte Jackson, the court found that mailed letters and sealed packages are as fully guarded from examination and inspection, except as to their outward form and weight. While the government may freely read the information on the cover of an envelope, opening the envelope and searching its contents will violate the Fourth Amendment. Courts have not reached the content versus non-content distinction when accessing social media communications. Instead, courts have found the third-party doctrine dispositive. When one applies the third-party doctrine to social media information, one finds that individuals do not have a reasonable expectation of privacy in social media data. As a result, government agents can presumably gain access to posted social media data without meeting any probable cause requirements. As soon as one posts information on a social platform, the poster discloses information to the third-party platform operator, right? So that would be the poster, right? Like the guys that sung that song 51 Murders, that would be them uploading that video, right, to YouTube for everybody else to see, for recipients to see. So YouTube functions as a third party. So the third party doctrine applies to those guys in the same manner within the case that we read earlier. Now, we didn't go fully into that case, but it was a situation where the shooter, right? He was rapping over the phone inside the jail, and they used his rap lyrics over that cell phone, over that phone call as evidence against him. All right. So that's third party. That cell phone provider, I mean, or that telephone service from that jail, that's a third party. So the third party doctrine applies. Now, the article goes on and it says, moreover, for most social networking posts, all of the members within a social or within a user's social network also receives access to the published information. In wall-to-wall type conversations between users, which would be like Facebook, the rest of the user's social network functions as third parties to whom the content publisher and recipient have voluntarily disclosed information. If the third party doctrine governs social media behavior, then published content voluntarily shared amongst connections within a private social network loses all reasonable expectation of privacy, including any reasonable expectation that a user's connections will not turn over their social data to investigative authorities. Now, do you have any input on this, Rodney?
I mean, it's pretty much clean cut. When you run your mouth, you lose all rights to privacy, because the third party is also the people that's listening.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So if I send you a text message, not only can Sprint use it, but you can use it. You know what I'm saying? So there's two third parties there. So if there's no such, if you want something to remain private, you need to keep it to yourself, because anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. So it's pretty much clear cut. You know, you have a right to privacy, but if you give it away, you pretty much waive it.
Exactly. Now check this out, Rodney. Right here in what is that? Palomeri versus United States. Now this case was from 2014. It looked like the District of Columbia Circuit. I might be wrong, but federal court. I just say in the federal circuit. It says that, and they were citing Smith and Miller to find that when a Facebook user allows friends to view his information, the government may access that information through an individual who is a friend without violating the Fourth Amendment. See, that's the third party doctrine.
Yeah.
You know,
if that friend turns it over to the government, the only thing that would be violated is that person's friendship.
Right. So the point is that it's possible, right, that these cops, that the Chicago Police Department could be looking into filing charges against these guys, and if enough information exists within their rap, right, in connection to the actual murders, then they could be facing charges very soon. So
yeah,
we'd like to thank everybody for listening, and please share, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.